the government would say, well, in 20 years, why didn't you make some preparation? Why didn't you apply for citizenship?
Now, Alicia and Keenan, this is another one of the stories that has really captured the attention of the community. We know Ruiz will be back in court next Friday.
All right, so lots of passions on both sides of this issue. Kier Hay, live for us this morning. Thank you, Kier.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's stay in Southwest Detroit, where a smoke shop is closed this morning. Police are accusing the owners of the business of conducting illegal activity. 313 Smoke City, located on 4th Street and Outer Drive, closed last night. Customers trying to get in were met with a notice from the city. Police tell 7 News Detroit they received a number of complaints from people in the neighborhood about children buying vapes and marijuana from that store.
We want to keep our kids safe. We want to keep the community safe, and I'm so happy that this community here in Southwest got involved and reached out to us and let us know what was going on, so we were able to take care of that problem.
Well, if you see illegal activity taking place at any smoke shop or any sort of store or business, you can always report it to the Detroit Police Department. You can submit those anonymous tips as well at Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
Well, this morning, a Macomb Township attorney and human rights activist is waking up with her family after being detained by Israeli forces while trying to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza. Huwaiti Araf was released on Sunday and landed back in Michigan yesterday afternoon. She was greeted by friends and family at Detroit Metro Airport. Araf says that she and other volunteers with the Freedom Flotilla Coalition were carrying medicine, baby food, and teddy bears when their ship was stopped by Israeli forces. We were able to sit down with her hours after she landed.
My daughter, I missed her birthday. I remember when I told her that I have to go on another ship. She was very upset that I wasn't going to be here for her birthday, but I thank her for allowing me.
Araf says that she plans to continue her work even with the ceasefire in place.
Well, this morning, the Canadian government is threatening to take legal action against Stellantis over the company's plans to move production to the U.S. The automaker announced earlier this week that the Jeep Compass will now be built at a plant in Illinois instead of the Canadian province of Ontario. Stellantis says the move will create more than 3,000 jobs and is a part of a $13 billion investment in the company's U.S. operations. But Canadian leaders say the decision breaks promises Stellantis made after receiving public funding in Canada. All right, time now is 5:10. Still ahead, no end in sight.
The government shutdown is entering day 17, and there's still no sign of a deal after another failed vote in the Senate. What some lawmakers are refusing to budge on.
But first, another developing story from Washington, D.C., why former National Security Advisor John Bolton was discharged by the Justice Department. All that and more when we come back. You're watching 7 News Detroit this morning.
You're watching 7 News Detroit, part of the Scripps News Group.
Well, we're back with developing news this morning. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton is facing charges in the federal investigation of the potential mishandling of classified information.
That's right. The FBI searched Bolton's Maryland home and Washington office in August, seizing documents labeled classified, confidential, and secret. Some of the seized records appeared to concern weapons of mass destruction and U.S. strategic communications. This case is the third against a Trump adversary in just the last month.
Now, Bolton served for more than a year in Trump's first administration before his firing in 2019. He went on to become a vocal critic of President Trump and the Trump administration.
The White House is escalating its war on drug trafficking, now weighing possible ground strikes in Venezuela. All of this is coming weeks after U.S. forces targeted suspected smuggling boats in the Caribbean. 6 airstrikes so far have killed at least 27 people. The U.S. has put up a $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of President Nicolas Maduro, accusing him of drug trafficking ties. Venezuela's government is calling the moves an act of aggression.
Well, today, President Trump and Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky are scheduled to meet at the White House. The meeting comes as President Trump considers Ukraine's request for long-range Tomahawk missiles. Those missiles would allow Ukraine to strike deeper into Russia. The meeting also comes ahead of another planned summit between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Hungary.
Time now, 5:15. Still to come, it's National Mammography Day.
And I'm highlighting new data from the National Breast Cancer Foundation showing how crucial screening is for early detection.
Plus, election fraud fallout. A Hamtramck City Councilman facing serious allegations has now been ordered to stand trial. Why a judge says there's enough evidence to move forward. You're watching 7 News Detroit this morning.
Well, today is National Mammography Day, and as a registered nurse, I'm going to take a moment to remind you of the importance of routine screenings. Mammograms are key to the early detection of breast cancer, and when spotted early in the localized stage, the 5-year survival rate for breast cancer is 99%. According to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, roughly 40 million mammograms are conducted in the U.S. every year, but only 67% of women ages 40 and over received a mammogram within the last 2 years, and that is a key gap. Mammography has helped reduce the breast cancer death toll in the U.S. by nearly 40% since 1990. Current recommendations call for all women ages 40 and older to receive a mammogram every year. But all adult women should perform monthly breast self-exams to keep track of any changes.
Yeah, good reminders there. I get mine every year in January, but yeah, those monthly checks, so important. Speaking of which, we are marking Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. You can see many buildings lit up in pink. Very nice to mark that. But the tower cam may soon be revealing more than just that spirit. Raindrops. We do have some rain out there this morning, Mike.
Yeah, we sure do. Most of it's mainly north of the city of Detroit, but it is diving south. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that sky cam. Yesterday was bright, no clouds to speak of.
It was so nice.
Yeah, I think today it might be a little different. We might see some rain trying to sneak in here on occasion, but I don't think it's going to be a washout. Sunrise will be at 7:49 this morning and sunset at 6:48 into the evening. We'll start off with some clouds across the area, maybe brighter if you're south of the city. We'll get temperatures up around 66 degrees for a high temp. That's despite the rain and the cool start that we have. 44 out the door right now and not checking in with any rainfall, at least not yet. But when you look at the radar, you will see some rain is out there being reported in Flint, being reported in Howell, also extending near Pontiac. So it's really just a matter of time before some of that moves in. You'll see the change in direction. It is diving to the south and east. The bulk of this is still north of Detroit. So make sure the kids have the rain gear on occasion. They might need it, but this is not going to last all day or all morning for that matter. I think we'll have a soggy start in some spots, but we will turn this around. Cloudy skies, we'll get some sunshine as well, and temperatures will respond to that. Talking about the upper 60s moving in to near 70 degrees in some spots. I think if you're south and west of Detroit, even from Ann Arbor down near Adrian, you can touch the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. And then after today, things get kind of interesting into the weekend. Today's forecast, mid to upper 60s of highs near 70, but by tomorrow as we cross into the weekend, now we're talking about some storm chances, not for the morning or the afternoon, but Saturday evening. I think that's when storms are going to be approaching. There's a cold front that's going to be racing in this direction as it gets here. Just out ahead of it, I think we'll warm our temperatures up easily into the 70s out ahead of the front. This is a breezy warm up though. And then by the evening time, there's a look at that heavy rain that comes through. And then more rain will be a possibility into your Sunday afternoon. So Sunday morning has a chance as well as Sunday afternoon. So therefore, for the Free Press Marathon, we'll be dealing with gusty winds and heavy rainfall. I think the storm threat primarily is Sunday night into early Sunday morning before the marathon gets started. So that's good news because we don't want any lightning in the area. After that, though, we cool down. Highs will only be in the 50s by Wednesday.
We have a couple areas in Detroit where we'll only have one lane open on I-94. So it's in between 8 Mile and Connor on Detroit's east side. Eastbound from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Westbound from noon to 4 p.m. Now this is a moving closure, so not the entire span here. Same goes for this area as well. From Wyoming to 2nd, only one lane open as part of a moving double lane closure. Eastbound Saturday, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then again in the westbound lanes, but in the afternoon from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So heads up in those spots. I-94 a bit messy this weekend. A live look now at our roads, taking a peek at I-96 and Wixom. Everything moving along smoothly. I'm not seeing any crashes at the moment.
Glad to hear it. Thank you much, Allie. 5:23 is the time right now. A tactical shift in training.
Now, why a Downriver Police Department is turning to jiu-jitsu and the impact already being felt on the streets. You're watching 7 News Detroit this morning.
Thanksgiving is next month. Don't wait until the last minute to start shopping.
In this morning's GMA First Look, it's the savings that won't gobble up your wallet.
This is a really, really good deal. This is a huge piece of turkey that's seasoned with stuffing at the bottom, green beans, butter, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, butter. This thing is so heavy. And then there's also gravy at the bottom here. $42.
The retailer's giving consumer deals right now for the Thanksgiving holiday and the spots you might not think of.
I would not be surprised if we see, value offers related to the Thanksgiving holiday. People spend around occasions, things that spark joy, that reckon nostalgia. So it's smart to get in on that occasion game. And I wouldn't be surprised if quick service did so.
And coming up at 7 a.m., I'm live in a cranberry bog with your GMA First Look. I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
All right, anyone else hungry?
I mean, yeah, now I'm thinking about, lunch.
Well, let's turn now to a Downriver Police Department rethinking the way officers are trained to fight crime. They're trading in traditional tactics for something you're more likely to see in a martial arts dojo.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this. Officers in Brownstown Township are now required to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a tactic that's becoming more popular with some police departments nationwide.
Now, Chief Jeff Watson says the idea has been under discussions for years now. But after Brownstown Detective Ian Morrison published a report advocating for the use of martial arts, leadership decided to move forward with the plan.
The object with jiu-jitsu is that you're controlling them until you're able to control them, whether they give up or you're able to move their hands into handcuffing position and control them.
Morrison's report found that the department, which implemented jiu-jitsu training, reported fewer officers and suspect injuries and had to use a taser less often.
All right, so benefits all around. All right, time now is 5:26. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, we have stories for you from downtown Detroit, Hamtramck, and Rochester.
Including Wall Street woes. Could a bad day of trading spill over into the opening bell? I'm going to take a look at stock futures this morning as worries over the banking industry are growing.
Plus, racing through the streets of downtown Detroit. The Detroit Free Press Marathon kicks off this weekend. From road closures to your forecast, everything you need to know ahead of race day.
Your voices, your stories, helping you get your day started. You're watching 7 News Detroit this morning.
Now at 5:30, runners, are you ready? More than 1,000 runners will take over downtown Detroit for the Free Press Marathon this week, and we're going to hear from a local runner and break down the road closures ahead of race day.
And it looks like it'll be a wet weekend for those runners and for everyone else. We're keeping an eye on showers sweeping through Metro Detroit.
Plus, the shutdown showdown is continuing in Washington, the issue dividing the U.S. Senate right now as senators keep failing to advance a stopgap spending bill.
Well, it is Marathon Race Weekend here in Detroit. The Detroit Free Press International Marathon steps off Sunday with tens of thousands of runners ready to strive for their personal best. Well, thank you so much for sticking with 7 News Detroit this morning at 5:30. I'm Keenan Smith.
And I'm Alicia Smith. Yeah, it's always exciting. Allie and I were cheering on some friends last year in the marathon, and just the spirit, the fun signs that people show on the sidelines is great.
The strength and the endurance is amazing as well.
Yes, the sweat, the training that went into that. So we are rooting all of you on if you are taking part in the Detroit Free Press Marathon or the 10K. Here's a live look over the Ambassador Bridge right now, which is so exciting because the bridge and the tunnel are really a couple of the most iconic features of the International Marathon and Half Marathon courses. Both are going to be closing temporarily as the runners pass through, as they should.
Oh, absolutely, for safety. Now, we have team coverage this morning of everything you need to know about the marathon and its impacts. Allie's breaking down the biggest road closures. Mike is in the Weather Center keeping track of what looks like it'll be a rainy race day forecast. But we start with 7 News Detroit reporter Ryan Marshall, who's live in downtown Detroit at the starting line. And Ryan, you got a chance to speak to a local runner ahead of Sunday's big race.
Yes, we did. Good morning to you. And he is very excited to be competing in the race this weekend. He realizes he is going to be shoulder to shoulder with thousands of other runners, but it's certainly an experience he says he doesn't take for granted. The 48th annual Detroit Free Press Marathon will renew an annual tradition unlike any other. Detroiter Will Sexton says he's excited to once again run in the largest international race in North America.
This is going to be my 4th time running the full marathon. I've also done the half a couple times as well.
Sexton and 26,000 other registered runners will compete in 8 different races across the entire weekend. Runners experiencing the full marathon beginning Sunday morning at 7 a.m. will race over 26 miles beginning in Detroit before crossing into Canada and back into the United States.
Running over the bridge into Windsor, going through the tunnel, going through the different neighborhoods in Detroit, just seeing all the people cheering for all the runners, I think that in itself is a big reward.
But Sexton knows that big reward doesn't come without big sacrifice.
It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of hours, doing the training runs, making sure that you're paying attention to what you're eating, you're sweeping the right amount. So just kind of building that discipline and building that kind of just having that whole experience leading up of proving to yourself that you can accomplish this really tough thing.
Now, the full marathon won't be the only event happening this weekend. Huntington Place hosts the Health and Food Expo later today from 1 to 7 p.m. and on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Races begin on Saturday, which include a 5K, the 1-mile race, a kids marathon, and a Little Detroit Dash. And then Sunday features the full International Marathon, the Marathon Relay, the International Half Marathon, and the Motor City Half Marathon. For a full list of events, times, and routes, visit our website on WXYZ.com. We're live here in downtown Detroit. I'm Ryan Marshall for 7 News Detroit this morning.
Yeah, it's an annual tradition here in the city. It's so exciting.
And you think of marathons for adults, but I love that they have activities for kids too,
Yes.
to encourage healthy behavior at an early age.
A little dash.
Ryan Marshall, live downtown. Thank you, Ryan.
Let's check in with Allie on how the roads will be impacted.
Yeah, we have a lot of road closures that could slow you down for the marathon. A big chunk of Fort Street's going to be closing really from Washington to West Grand Boulevard. The closure happens from Washington to 3rd Saturday at 6 a.m. and lasts till noon on Sunday. And then it extends to West Grand Boulevard here Sunday 4 a.m. to noon. Now, of course, the runners need to go over the Ambassador Bridge, so that's going to be closing down northbound I-75 to the Ambassador Bridge on Sunday from 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. in this area. Additionally, we'll have closures in the downtown Detroit area. So from Lafayette, Woodward, Grand River Avenue, Washington, Michigan, Jefferson, and of course, the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel will be closing down on Sunday for the race as well. So anticipate closures starting on Saturday morning and really ramping up on Sunday for the race. Now, meteorologist Mike Taylor's been keeping an eye on some rain that could slow you down, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's right, Allie, and it's kind of concerning, and based on the fact that this system looks pretty dynamic. So let's start off with just the planner, focusing just on the marathon. I want you to see around 7 a.m., heavy rain will be in the area, but it will be on the verge of moving out. As that happens, winds are going to kick up. And when I say winds are going to kick up, we're talking about wind advisory criteria potentially. So, of course, that's going to be challenging for the runners. Gusty winds will continue at 10 a.m. More rain will be closing in closer to the afternoon hours. So it looks like a pretty raw day, to say the least. Temperatures will be in your favor, though. 64 is fairly mild, but it's going to be very active with these showers and storms rolling through. One thing I will add, the thunderstorm potential, that appears to be Saturday night, early Sunday morning before the marathon starts. That's good news, because of course if we have thunderstorms in the area, that's going to be an issue all by itself, just based on the lightning. So that's good that we'll have this early in the morning, around 1:30 in the morning on Sunday, but it could hurt just the efforts to get prepared for the race and the coverage. So we'll talk more about your weekend forecast in full detail and what's in store on the other side of next week.
Well, the federal government shutdown is now entering day 17. This is a live look over Capitol Hill this morning.
It's now the 3rd longest government shutdown in history, and there's no end in sight. The divided Senate failed to advance the stopgap funding bill following a 10th vote. The majority of Democrats refusing to join the GOP unless better health care funding is assured. But in order for the bill to advance, Republicans need 60 votes to fund the government through late November. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has hinted that he could release a list today of Democratic programs that he wants to cut as a result of the shutdown.
And federal courts are expected to run out of money as early as today. That means the hearing dates for some court cases could be pushed back or rescheduled. The Administrative Office for the U.S. Courts said in a statement that it used court fee balances and other funds to continue operating as normal. But with that money exhausted, it'll be up to the courts themselves to determine which of the more than 33,000 staffers are to be deemed essential. Well, back here at home, a Hamtramck City Council member charged with election fraud has been ordered to stand trial. The judge ruled there is enough evidence against Mohammed Hassan for that case to move forward. Hassan faces 3 election law violations. He's accused of forging signatures on absentee ballots during a tight 2023 general election. Hamtramck City Clerk took the stand along with a police detective who testified about handwriting samples sent to the police lab.
There are indications that Mohammed Hassan wrote the questioned dates on the item 2 document, in parentheses, indications did.
Voter application.
Well, Hassan is scheduled to be arraigned in circuit court on October 30th.
Well, Detroit teens are rolling up their sleeves to help with the city's restoration. Yesterday, 75 high school students were on the job at Lee Plaza on West Grand Boulevard, working right alongside professional carpenters, masons, and electricians. And this was really a chance to lend a hand on the historic redevelopment project, all while learning some valuable skills that could lead to some high-paying jobs.
There's a huge need for more people in the skilled trades, not just Detroit, but throughout the country.
Yeah.
But we're focused on these young men and women because we know that it's an incredible career to be part of the skilled trades.
So true. And before falling into disrepair, Lee Plaza was a hotel, and it is being transformed into affordable housing units.
Well, tomorrow, the streets of downtown Rochester will be filled with ghosts, ghouls, and superheroes. Nearly 50 businesses are taking part in the annual trick-or-treat event in Rochester.
Yeah, the trick-or-treating hours are between 3 and 5 p.m. tomorrow night, this Saturday night. Organizers say trick-or-treaters should start at the corner of East 2nd and Main Street or at the corner of West University and Main Street. And then after the trick-or-treating, there will be a Halloween fest. That's going to run from 4:30 to 6:30 near the East Parking platform.
All right, it's always great to see the kids in their uniforms. And I remember that Captain America uniform. Yeah, I had one of those.
Oh, you did?
No, one of my boys.
Oh, one of your
Grayson.
boys.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
we had one of those.
I love it.
Yeah,
Superheroes.
Always popular.
For sure. Time now, 5:40. Still ahead at 5:45, preparing for prime time.
That's right. The Lions are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night. We're going to show you how the Lions are preparing for a tough game.
We're Emerson Middle School from Livonia, and we like to say, good morning, Detroit!
We are back with some worries on Wall Street. Stocks closed lower as concerns were rising over regional bank loans. I've been checking Dow futures this morning, and so far it's not looking great. I'm going to bring it up right now and check it live. Right now, the Dow futures are down 313 points. NASDAQ futures down 309, and the S&P 500 futures are down almost 70 points. Now, all of this is coming after a steep fall yesterday. The Dow fell by 301 points. The S&P 500 dropped by 107 points, and the NASDAQ lost nearly 42 points. The market is reacting to concerns about the health of the banking industry. Regional bank shares tumbled on Thursday after 2 lenders disclosed issues with borrowers. Zion Bancorp's shares sank 13% after disclosing that it would take a $50 million loss because of a bad loan, while Western Alliance Bancorp dropped 10% after it announced that it was suing a borrower over allegations of fraud.
Well, millions of workers here in Michigan and beyond are feeling uncertainty about the future at a time when technology is reshaping the workplace. Nestle, the world's largest food company, plans to cut around 16,000 jobs globally over the next 2 years. About 1,200 of those layoffs will impact office employees as the company automates more tasks and streamlines operations. Another 4,000 jobs in manufacturing and supply chain will also be cut to boost efficiency. These cuts are expected to affect workers here in Michigan, where Nestle has a major facility in Fremont and employs a significant number of people in both manufacturing and in corporate roles.
Time now, 5:45. A big change could soon be coming to Apple's flagship laptop line.
ABC's Faith Abube has more on that, and Facebook looking to make changes to its Messenger app.
In today's Tech Bites, a big change could be coming to Apple laptops soon. Bloomberg reports that the next generation MacBook Pro is set to include a touchscreen. The computers will run on M6 chips and are expected to be released late next year or early 2027. Next, Facebook's parent company Meta is shutting down its desktop messenger app starting December 15. Users will no longer be able to log into the app and will be automatically redirected to the Facebook website to access Messenger. Meta is encouraging users to save their chat history. And finally, New York is now the first state to ban landlords from using AI price fixing software. Governor Kathy Hochul signing the new law claiming use of the software cost U.S. tenants nearly $4 billion last year. The law goes into effect in 60 days. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Faith Abube. Have a great day.
5:47 is the time right now. Prime time football. Much of the country is going to be watching, of course, Monday night as the Lions host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Now, this is going to be a comeback game, a bounce-back game for the Lions after a tough loss on Sunday. 7 Sports Director Brad Galley has a look at how the Lions are getting ready.
The Lions and Buccaneers haven't been in the same division for over 2 decades. But man, over the last few seasons, this renewed rivalry has produced some absolute competitive battles. The newest chapter will unfold on Monday Night Football. The Lions back to practice Thursday for the first time since the loss in Kansas City. This organization hasn't lost back-to-back games since October of 2022. That's something that gets brought up after the rare loss around here. And Dan Campbell explained how they keep bouncing back.
It's our players. You know, we got a good group of guys. They're competitive. They're a resilient group. They know how to overcome adversity. They don't like losing. And they go back to work to fix the things that need to be fixed.
The Lions are 4-2, taking on a 5-1 Buccaneers team. The quarterback matchup is as familiar as these opponents. Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield are both former #1 overall picks who have found enormous success in new homes.
He's a good friend and a ton of respect for it. I think we both kind of, I'm sure I don't want to speak for him, but can recognize that there's some dark days in that transition, and coming out the other side of it for both of us is a lot of respect from my end for sure. And I hope he's the same.
Taylor Decker. Campbell said there is hope to get him back on the field this week. Aleem McNeil is back, set to make his season debut after ACL surgery.
You told us a couple weeks ago there were no dark days in your rehab. It's just the way you live. But is this a day, this upcoming game, something that you've been looking forward to in your mind for a while?
Yeah, that's the only thing I've been looking forward to. I don't even know how to explain that to you. I've been waiting on this day for a long time. And I know how I'm going to be. I'm just going to go out there and hoop and do what I do. But it is going to be a big day, big deal in the back of my head.
You can see out at practice, they're getting ready to wear their alternate Motor City Muscle jerseys, the all black and the alternate blue helmet. For McNeil, who got injured last season, he said, put me in any color uniform, a yellow uniform, but the black ones will look pretty sweet in prime time. In Allen Park with the Lions, Brad Galley, 7 News Detroit.
Thank you so much, Brad. And remember, the Lions host the Buccaneers in primetime on Monday night, and you can catch all of the gridiron action right here on 7.
I do like the Motor City Muscle jersey. Mean, right? Hey, we're kicking things off with our primetime countdown special. It's going to be at 6:30, and then at 7 o'clock on Monday. It is the Lions versus the Bucs from Ford Field. It's going to be loud. It's going to be wild. Cannot wait.
And you know, there are going to be so many tailgaters out there ready to cheer on the Lions. So as we get ready for this Friday, lots of folks are trying to even look past the weekend to see Monday's forecast.
And that's when the weather will relax.
Good.
You know, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's the weekend that's in jeopardy here. Talking about just heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, gusty winds. make sure I have everything on my checklist.
I was about to say,
yeah, right.
it's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to walk you through. And yeah, we'll talk about things changing up as we speak. You can see that right now on the current conditions, the satellite and radar showing rain is closing in some spots, not for everybody, but it is out there. I would consider is the rain gear to get started this morning for the kids at the bus stop from Howell to Flint. This is moving through areas near Pontiac and is drifting to the south and east. So it's probably going to clip by Windsor as well as Detroit before this warm front continues to lift north. I think the best chance for seeing the persistent rain is what I'll call it will be well north of the city of Detroit, closer to the thumb, but everybody can get clipped by this as it moves on through. Your work and school forecast looks like this. There is a chance of seeing some rain this morning, but most of the day will be mostly to partly cloudy with some sunshine. That boosts our numbers into the mid-60s, as well as the winds shifting out of the south. That will also help to boost our numbers as well. So 66 in Detroit, but how about 70, near 70 degrees to the south and west? That's because of what's happening with this system into tomorrow. In fact, and speaking of your Saturday, it's not a bad way to start your weekend. There's a slight chance of some spotty showers in the morning once again on Thursday, but how about the temps climbing into the mid to upper 70s across the city? Outside of the city, you'll still have a chance to go into the upper 70s, but there's a caveat to this. The same system that warms us up is also going to make it a very interesting scenario for this weekend. Saturday night going into Sunday, there's a cold front that's in a hurry to get here. Out ahead of it, it's going to increase the likelihood of seeing some showers and thunderstorms. Some of these could be on the heavy side. I think the thunderstorm chance, the best chance, will be Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Notice this is at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. By the time we head towards the marathon, the worst of this should be out of here. Winds will really kick up with gusts up to 45 miles an hour. So wind advisory criteria, and we're not done just yet. More rain a possibility into your Sunday afternoon. So it's an active weekend, but things will calm down just in time for the Lions. And then we'll have another system moving in next Tuesday and Wednesday. That too brings some rain and some gusty winds to Metro Detroit.